It is new bike day today. I did pop it open already. I was too excited. But I haven't got any further than this. Ooh. The wheel. A seat. Handlebars are attached to the bike by the looks of it. Alright, well, time to take the whole bike out now. Find it strange, but I had to order pedals separately. Doesn't come with pedals. And what could be in here? Instructions, brakes, okay. Some reflectors, I won't be using those. Don't need that. Okay. Ooh. That's a nice looking seat. Before I can put it on the front wheel, I actually want to add some front brakes. So, I gotta add this guy. And, ooh. I run these on my trials bike and they are amazing brakes. I have a 180mm rotor on the front. The stock forks are 160, so I have an adapter here somewhere. Yeah, there we go. This should work. Get some real good stopping power on the thing. Ooh. So disc brakes are always super sensitive things. I always try and grab them like this so you don't touch the outside. There's just something about new parts. I love it. 2, 3. With the box empty, it's time to take a look at the bike. So I have the disc on the front wheel. Now it is time to put the wheel on the bike, but I think I have to put the handlebars on first, and then I'll flip it upside down, and then put the brakes on and stuff. It looks good. I love Christmas. Check out the engraving in behind here. You'll never see that once the handlebar's on. Cool little detail. Time to loosen this, and then we can put the handlebar through. Alright, so the handlebars are on. They're not super tight yet, but it is time to flip it upside down. Ooh, shocks are nice. For the price of the bike, it probably should have came with pedals, but whatever. It's okay. These are nice. That is not tight yet, but it is starting to look like a bike. Hell yeah.
Keep it steady. About to kill some time under neon lights.
So, like I said earlier, the Magura brakes are going on. but these are 180 mil rotors, and the stock adapters go for 160. So I just need this. I think this should work. Hopefully I got the right one. I could be doing this totally wrong, but we'll see. Does it look right? So I actually ordered the wrong brake caliper adapter. I ordered it for a 203 instead of 180. I have a 203, which is sweet, so I'll just put some bigger brakes on. Took the 180 off. It'll go back into its box, and well, I'll have better brakes, I guess. So, a good mistake. Alright, take two with the 203 brake rotor. These things are massive. So I have the same brakes on my trial bike, and the hose goes right through the steer tube. Now I think what I'm going to do is actually drill a hole through the top of the other bike. I do like this. And then I have a few rounds to go for bar spins. Also my handlebars I cut shorter, and I guess I'm used to it now, so I'm probably going to cut the other one shorter as well. I think that's pretty possible. Alright, so this little guy, I'm going to punch all the way through. I did order another one. This is what is in there. I'm going to end up destroying this one, but we're going to cut 2 ears off and see what happens. Time to drill a hole in the headset cap. Now I have a little punch thing. I had to sharpen it though. I just took the end off and put it in the drill. Poor man's lathe, but I think it's sharp enough now. I basically have to go directly on top of the in. It's kind of a little tricky, but nice. Whew. Oh, I just caught the inside. That's what happened. All right. Actually happy with that. The brake line goes through, and then, yeah. I'm kind of concerned about it rubbing. I might put a little bit of silicone or something so it stays in the same spot, but. Alright, so this is going to go in like so. I guess there's a tool to put these star nuts in. I don't have it. I just put a rusty Allen on the top, and I'm going to hammer it in. The plan is to put this brake on the back of that bike. The reason I'm doing this is because this cable, it's been pinched here a few times and I've shortened it, and now it's almost too short. So I'm going to basically, I think, just toss this cable, but then I have a new cable, and then I'm going to see if I can route the cable through here the same way they did. And then I'll have a new cable, same brake. And then I'll put the new front brake on here with a new cable. It's genius. Not sure exactly how to do this, but I have to route this brake line through the same brake line that's going in. I was thinking of using potentially this one, but it's kind of short in a way. And then, well, I actually do have the new brake line. But I have to pull this one through while pulling the new one in. Might be interesting. I'm not totally sure how to go about it yet. Wow. Here's my solution. What I'm gonna do, I cut this guy off, the old one, cut the end off of it. Then I'm going to put it in both ends of the brake line, put a little tape around it, and then pull it through. Hopefully it works. So I managed to get it a little further and then tape it on there. Now I just remove this rubber seal as well. I think that'll make it much easier to pull through. Alright, it is getting stuck on the tape somewhere inside, which means I'm going to have to remove the tape. No. Wish me luck. It's hitting some point. Alright, well, that didn't work then. So we have a bit of a dilemma. Now let's see if I can... Oh, no. Yay! Success! Oh yeah. Obviously, I can't forget the rubber piece that goes on here. This is the brackets for the rear brakes. Now I have... Ta-da! Oh. This actually looks the exact same. I want to put a 180 on the rear. It has 160 currently. This looks almost exactly the same. I should have another one somewhere. Ah! What does it say? Rear 160. Oh, this might be the same thing too. This must be it. Okay, that looks a little bit more promising. I do want that to be nice and tight. There we go. After cutting the brake line to the length I want, I guess we put a little insert in, and then an olive goes over top, and then it all gets squeezed into the handle. Don't forget to put this one on first. Our little, I don't know what it's called, but that little insert goes in here, and the olive goes over top. And then this will pinch this into here. Alright, so same as last time on the back, we have the little collar thing. This guy goes on. Then we have this little nozzle gets pushed into the end. And then when it gets clamped into the lever, that's when it gets pinched and sealed by this thing. It's actually kind of a cool system. Seems to work pretty good. Because I have to tilt this upside down if I mount this onto the handlebars, I'm just going to do this outside. This guy goes in, and this. Just so I minimize any spilling of fluid. I'm going to actually tighten it when it's mounted. Also, top tip about the Magura MT7 levers. The clamp, they have arrows at the bottom. That is the one you tighten first. They're designed to be tighten the one side all the way, and then you tighten the top. So it's time to bleed the brakes. Magura actually has a very good video on this. However, I'll show you what I do. The disc brakes, I take the disc, the whole wheel off, and then the pads out. If you get even a little bit of mineral oil on the pads, they're toast. So best to just avoid that. First step is to fill one syringe with the Magura Royal Blood, they call it. It's just their proprietary mineral oil. Don't really know exactly what it is specifically, but it seems to be good stuff. So I only use that, and then we put this brake lever, kind of try and level that out as best you can. This is the one bleed screw, so as long as that's kind of the highest point. Then we remove this screw and quickly put this one in, and we remove the top screw and put this syringe in. So removing the bleed screw is a Torx 25. It is the same as the bottom as well. You have to be careful with the carbo texture. This stuff will break easy if you tighten it too much. However, this one syringe has a hole in it, so I can put this in here, and then when I pump fluid in from the bottom, the air will go out and it should allow fluid to go in. Alright, so I made a slight mistake, had a little bit of a spill, but it makes way more sense to put the syringe in first and then open up the top. That way if you open up the top first, then it'll allow air in and it'll all just come pouring out, whereas if you open up this, you won't really get much fluid out. So anyway, now that we have this hooked up, we basically just push on this. The syringe and fluid should slowly come out the other side. Get a little bit of air coming out. It's nice clean fluid. I bleed the brakes on my trials bike every so often, and you can actually see it's like this dark gray comes out. So this is still nice and clear. And then we just push it through again. And then you can flick the brake lever a few times too. And then again, and I just repeat this until there's absolutely no air left. See, there's a little bubble there. Time to bleed the back brakes. Same procedure as the front. Put these little shipping things in. This is just to prevent the pistons from pushing when you're pushing on the brakes during the bleeding. And then we put the syringe at the bottom first this time. I'm learning. So, these are actually the brakes off my trials bike. So we'll see how dark the fluid is when we start pushing it out. Hopefully it doesn't make too much of a mess right now. So you're basically bound to get a little bit of fluid. Seems inevitable, but as long as you keep that minimum and clean it up as best you can when you're done. Any like mineral fluid, brake fluid, whatever on brake pads will wreck them, unfortunately. I'm going to push the syringe to the bottom and push the fluid through, just like before, but take note of the color of the fluid on the top. So push on this guy. Oh, it's mostly air coming through. There we go. Ooh, that's dark. Yeah, I'm actually probably going to take that out. I don't want to be pushing that back through the system. So got the wheel back on, put the pads in, and they are nicely aligned. A lot of videos will say to press the front brake and that will align the caliper when like these two bolts are loose. And that is true. But the problem is when you start to tighten these, the caliper will move again. The washer, like it'll spin and it'll just move a little. So I recommend pushing to tighten and then centralizing the caliper on the rotor, but then visually looking through and to see the pads and try and like keep it in the exact same spot. It's a little tricky to do, but satisfying. Sweet. Hell yeah. Front brakes are on and done. Rear brakes are bled and tight. This bike is ready to go, except for one thing. I don't really like the green on this bike for some reason. So I think I'm gonna go with these blue ones. Otherwise, hell yeah. Well, if you want to see me ride it, I guess you'll have to subscribe. It is currently like -20 outside, so might have to wait a few months. Anyway, thanks for watching.